Visit starting. Visit started.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so today we'll be looking at how teams progress in FTC. So how do the matches happen, and what is the criteria that is used for teams to progress, and how can a team prepare? We'll also look at the most important part of FTC, the awards. There are many awards that are given out, and not all of them depend on how well you perform in the matches. So it's important to understand what is the criteria behind these awards, and what is it that as a team you can do in order to target these awards. So we'll be talking about that. And finally, we'll be taking a look at the engineering notebook. What is it? Why is it important? And why is it that teams need to make? So let's get started with team progression. So this year we are having these remote events, and we do not have complete information on how these events will be organized in terms of how will the teams progress from one level to the other. So until we have this information, all that I can share with you is what has been happening in the past several years, and I'm hoping the remote will be based on something similar. May not be exactly the same because of the nature of the remote events, but they would be similar. So in FTC, what happens is typically we have around 40 to 50 teams from all over India who participate in FTC. And initially, there are a round of qualifying matches that happen. So there are about 8 to 10 qualifying matches that each team has to play. And when the FTC event begins, in the beginning of the event itself, you are given a calendar in which you come to know when is your match, what time it is, and who are your alliance partners, and against teams you will be playing. So you'll get all that information. Once you get that information, then you need to start planning your scout. So as part of scouting, what you need to do is you need to understand what are the strengths of each team, what are the weaknesses of each team, and you need to keep a record of that, because in some cases you will find that there are certain teams who are your alliance partners. So it will be good to know their strengths and weaknesses. And in some cases you will find that the teams that are against you, you need to know their strengths and weaknesses also, because based on that you need to adopt the right strategy to play during the match. So that scouting activity begins as soon as you get the schedule. As soon as you get it, the scouting activity begins. So typically what teams do is whoever are their alliance partner team, they go over to the team's booth. So each team is given a booth over there in the FTC event. You can call it a pit stop. So you go there to their booth, and you try to understand that you have a match in which you are paired up with them, and then you try to understand from them what is it that they do well in their bot and in their strategy, and you can discuss what is it that you do well, and based on that you can come up with a combined strategy. So that is something that is very important. And most teams, what they do is they keep 2 or 3 people reserved just for this activity. So the only job that these team members do is they just go around, talk to other teams, and understand team strengths, weaknesses. And along with talking to these teams, you also need to go and watch the matches that are going on, because in the matches you will actually come to know what is the strength of each team and what is the weakness of each team. And as you watch the matches, you need to again keep a record. If you find something, suppose you find that there is this particular team which is going to play a match against you, and in one of the previous matches you find that they do autonomous really well, or they do a certain part of the game really well, then you need to tweak your strategy based on that. So this is something that the scouting team will have to do. In addition to going and talking to other teams, you need to observe your opponents as the matches go on, because if you go and talk to your opponent team, they may not share all the information, or they may not share any information with you because you're an opponent. So the only way in such cases is to go and watch the matches as they're progressing. So after these qualifying matches complete, they typically take something like 1.5 days to complete. When these qualifying matches complete, at the end of that, what we get is we get a scoreboard in which in the decreasing order of their ranking points. And these ranking points are determined based on how many matches you've won, and what are your points in each match. And when I say points, when a match happens, there are two alliances in a match, and there are two teams per alliance. And the alliance gets all the points. And what I mean by alliance gets all the points means both the teams in the alliance get the same number of points. For instance, if a match happened between Red Alliance and Blue Alliance, Red Alliance scored 100 points and Blue Alliance scored 120 points, then both the teams in the Red Alliance will get 100 points each, and both the teams in the Blue Alliance will get 120 points each. And the winning alliance, in this case, the Blue Alliance will get 2 points. So they are called ranking points. So the teams are then sorted in the decreasing order of their points that they get, and that list is published. Then amongst that list of these teams, the top 4, the teams that score the maximum number of points, the top 4 teams, what they do is they become team captains for 4 alliances that play the semi-finals and the finals. So in the qualifying matches, all the teams play 8 to 10 matches. After that, to the next level, to semi-finals and finals, only 4 alliances progress to that level. And the top 4 teams, the captains of those teams form the alliance captains. So for the semi-finals and finals, you have 4 alliances. And these 4 alliances, in turn, have 3. So in the qualifying matches, if you remember correctly, there are 2 teams per alliance. Red Alliance will have 2 teams and Blue Alliance will have 2 teams. But when it comes to semi-finals and finals, the alliances that progress to these levels, they have 3 teams in each. And there are 4 such alliances. First, they play the semi-finals. And the 2 alliances that win the semi-finals, they go and play the final. And this is done in the form of best of 3 matches. So semi-finals, the best of 3 matches happen to determine the winners of the semi-finals. Same with the finals. Best of 3 matches happen to determine the winners. So that is how teams progress in FTC, and this is how it has been all these years. This year for the remote event, we do not have complete information. How I'm hoping it will be based on something similar, but let's see what happens. Any questions at this point?
Sir,
Yes.
in the COVID situation, how will we do these matches?
Yeah, that is what I was telling you. We do not have information how it will happen. So that information will come over a period of time. So since this will be a remote event for us because of COVID, we cannot have an in-person event. It will be a remote event. And in remote events, what teams are expected to do is they're expected to play their matches in front of a neutral person, for example, the principal of your school. And in the presence of the principal of your school or any senior teacher of your school, you will play a match, you will compute your points, and you'll have to enter the points into the FTC system, which is online. So those are the guidelines for the remote events. Now for India specifically, we do not have the latest set of guidelines on what exactly will be followed. It will be loosely based on these remote event guidelines, but let's see. We may even have to submit a video. I'm not sure what will be the requirement. We may have to submit a video. So this will happen for the qualifying matches. So maybe we'll each team will get to play about 5 qualifying matches. So that means you'll game 5 times and you'll enter those scores into the, and based on your scores, maybe the top 4 team captains will be selected, and then 4 alliances will be formed. And there is a possibility that there might be an in-person event just for these 4 alliances. So that is something that I have been hearing. And in case there is an in-person event, then they will take all precautions such as maintaining social distancing and so on. But nothing is decided as of yet. It will all probably depend on what is the situation February, March, or whenever the event is going to happen this year. Every year it happens usually in the end of January or the beginning of February. This year we do not have the dates yet. Hopefully it will be in the same time. It may go up to April also. We do not have that information yet. Any other question?
So,
Yes.
so you told in the semi-final there's an alliance of 3 teams. So will 6 teams be doing the challenge? Only 4 teams, because you told the alliance consists of 3 teams in the semi-finals.
Yes. So there are 4 alliances, and there are 3 teams per alliance. So 12 teams will progress to the semi-finals.
Okay, so
And each alliance, so consider the semi-final match. So each alliance will play 3 matches in semi-finals. So and each time the alliance will be playing against the same opposite alliance in the semi-finals. I'm not talking about the finals, but in semi-finals. So, for example, if there are 4 teams A, B, C, and D, or rather 4 alliances A, B, C, and D, then A and D will play against each other in the semi-final, and B and C will play against each other in the semi-final. And each of these alliances will play 3 matches. Best of 3 will decide which is the winning alliance. And the 2 winning alliances of these matches will move on to the finals.
okay, so thank you.
Okay, moving on to the awards that were given out at FTC. So there are 2 kinds of awards. So one kind of award is that you get by judges, and the other kind of awards are called the judged awards. So we'll talk about. So when you play matches, you reach the semi-finals and you win the semi-finals, and you reach the finals. You play the finals. Then the team that that wins the finals, and when I say the team that wins the finals, meaning the captain of the team that wins the finals gets the winning alliance award, and the team that comes second, the one that loses the finals, gets the finalist alliance awards. So there are these 2 awards that are given for your performance in the matches. Now, besides these awards, there are about 8 to 10 other awards, and these are based on a panel of judges. So as soon as the event starts, you will see that there is a panel of judges moving around, or rather there will be multiple panel of judges moving around who will be interviewing them, who will be observing teams remotely, what those teams are doing. So, and based on that, they come up with these awards. They decide which team wins. And during this entire event, as the matches go on, each team is required to make a presentation in front of the judges as well. So what you need to do is you need to go prepare the presentation. You will have 15 minutes, and you'll have to prepare some kind of a presentation. If you want, you can prepare a PowerPoint slide deck, or you can even do it without that. You can just go and talk about your team. That is also, and what the judges do is, in these interviews that happen, in these presentations that happen, the judges shortlist certain teams based on what they observe, and they shortlist them for these awards. So we have the Think Award, Connect Award, Innovate Award, Design, Control, Promote, Inspire, and then there is a Judges Award as well. So what they do is they shortlist teams, and once the team is shortlisted, they will not release the information about which team got shortlisted and so on. But what they will do is they go and talk to the team at their booth, and then they'll ask. For instance, if your team has been shortlisted for a design award, then a panel of judges who are evaluating the design award would come to your booth, and they will ask you questions about the design of your robot, or how you went about. So that is the entire methodology that they adopt in order to determine these judged awards. So what we'll do today is we will look at each of them, and we'll try to understand what is the criteria behind this award. Because each award has a different criteria, and it's extremely important to understand how they choose these awards so that each team can prepare for these awards really well. So we'll begin with the Think Award. So the theme of the Think Award, or the philosophy behind the Think Award, is removing engineering obstacles through creative thinking. So that's why it's called the Think Award. And the whole idea behind this award is the judges want to see how good the teams are when it comes to adopting the engineering design process. Now, all of you need to understand the engineering design process is. So you'll find a lot of information on, and you'll find a lot of videos on YouTube as well. So I would suggest you go out and understand this engineering design process and adopt this process It's not something that you can do on the last day or just a few days before the event. You'll have to adopt it right away as soon as you start working. And two very important points. One is the team must show respect and gracious professionalism to everyone. And you might be wondering, how do the judges come to know about gracious professionalism? So they actually are, as all the teams, as those teams are going about doing their activities, whether it's playing the matches or whether it's lining up before the matches, or whether it's how are you talking to people when they come to your booth, or how are you coordinating with your alliance partners, and how are you behaving with your alliance opponents, and so on. So gracious professionalism is extremely important. And there will be a lot of volunteers over there as well who will be observing you, and they will be giving the feedback about you and your teams to the judges as well. So as long as you are there at the event venue, you have to be extremely gracious in your. That is one very important thing. The other very important thing is each team needs to submit an engineering notebook. So at the end, I have a few slides on what is there in the notebook and how do you prepare it. So we'll go over that, but this is mandatory for this Think Award. If you do not submit this engineering notebook, your team would not be eligible for the Think Award. And for this award, what you need to do is, in your engineering notebook, you need to include information about the underlying science, mathematics, and the game strategies behind your robot. So for example, if you have done something specific in your robot that you would like to explain, for example, the science behind it. So to give an example, if you are shooting out, for instance, the ring from your robot to the mid goal or to the top goal or to the high goal, then you need to include information on how you went about computing the angle at which you should launch or shoot the ring, and how did you control the distance that the ring will travel by varying, for example, the RPM of your motor. So the underlying mathematics and science behind these aspects of your robot, they need to be explained in an engineering notebook. Along with this, you also need to explain your game strategies. So we talked a lot about your strategy in the beginning. So all this needs to be explained in the engineering notebook, and that is what will enable you to target this Think Award. Okay, so moving on, the next award is the Connect Award. So this Connect Award is all about outreach. So one question that some of you may have is, why do you need to do outreach in FTC, and what is the philosophy behind it? So the reason why outreach is done by teams in FTC is because first, and FTC do not want you guys to just work on your robot. They want you guys to help others to build skills in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the STEM topics. And they want you to help others who may not be so familiar with these fields, and to bring them up and to create an environment. So that is the whole philosophy behind outreach, and the Connect Award is the one that that celebrates how well a team has done its outreach. There are two awards that are related to outreach. One is the Connect Award, and another award we'll take a look at it a little later. So in the Connect Award, what is expected to do is each team should reach out to your local STEM community and should contribute to the local. And in that local STEM community, you need to go and raise awareness about FIRST, and you need to raise awareness about FTC as well. And not to mention itself, you need to raise awareness about your team. So to give an example, there might be a science club maybe attached to some school, or there might be a charity organization conduct some STEM activities for some underprivileged. So what you would need to do in such cases is you would need to reach out to those people and tell them that you would like to do a session with them. So take out 4 to 5 hours and go there, talk to those underprivileged kids, tell them what is it that you're doing, tell them what is FIRST, tell them what is FTC, tell them what is a robot, explain to them the basic principles, explain to them the STEM topics, and so on, and establish this connection. And it is not just about establishing a connection, but also you need to maintain maintain this connection for a long time. So you need to identify future goals. So what the judges will look at is for this Connect Award, it is not the team that has done a lot of outreaches. Your team may do 10 outreaches, go out to 10 different schools or 10 different clubs and do outreach. But if you don't have a plan to continue these outreaches after FTC is complete, and you're not able to convince the judges that you will be that, then the judges will not consider. So the Connect Award is all about having a long-term plan for doing these outreach activities, even beyond FTC, even after FTC is over. So this is what this will be looking at when they evaluate your team for the Connect. The next award is the Innovate Award. As the name suggests, this Innovate Award is about having great ideas and taking these ideas from the conceptual level into a real world and to actually implement these ideas and to show it working to the judges. And these ideas have to be shown. So, for instance, you might come up with a completely new idea for shooting rings into the goals. So what you would need to do is you would need to first prototype that idea, and you need to do some testing of that prototype to make sure that it's able to shoot in the goal that you want it to. And then when the judges talk to you, you need to explain how you came up with that idea, what is it that your idea does, how different from other teams, and why it is. And what the judges appreciate here is how much outside the box thinking that a team does in order to come up with their ideas, how creative and how inventive. So that is what this Innovate Award is all about. And like all the other awards that we have seen so far, the teams must show gracious professionalism to everyone, and the teams must submit an engineering notebook. So these are two mandatory criteria behind these awards. And in your engineering notebook, you need to explain your ideas. You need to explain how you took your idea from just an idea to a part of your robot. How did you take it and put it in your robot? And when you started with the idea, it might just be a wild idea, but when it is in your robot and it's working, then you show them when the judges come and visit you, and how effective your idea is and how effective your innovation is. So that's what this award is all about, the Innovate Award. The next award is the Design Award. The philosophy behind Design Award is industrial design at its best. Now, industrial design is a topic that is usually taught colleges, so I'm sure most of you would not be aware of it. So I would highly recommend that you go out and study industrial design by looking at videos on YouTube and look up some websites. You'll find out industrial design. So what industrial design? What you need to do is when you are trying to solve a problem, then as a solution to the problem, that solution should be really for the person who's going. So in your case, if you put some kind of a mechanism on your robot, that mechanism should be really useful for the robot and it should work really well. That is one part of it. The other part of it, so Design Award also considers the aesthetics behind your design, how good your design looks. So both
Hello.
Sir, you're muted.
So you're muted.
And sir, your voice was cracking a lot, sir.
Yes, sir. So your voice is cracking a lot.
So your network is like bad, kind of.
can you hear me well now, or is it still cracking?
It's still cracking, sir.
Okay, let me
Still
switch.
cracking, so.
Let me switch to a different network. Hold on. Give me a minute. Audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, kindly.
And the voice better?
No, you completely blacked out.
Sir, it's better.
It's better? Okay. Let me share my screen again.
So your screen is already shared.
Yes. Okay, so like I was saying, the design award looks at both functional aspects of your design and aesthetic aspects of your design. And how do you strike a balance between the two? So, for example, your robot could be the best looking robot, but it doesn't do anything, so that doesn't help. And it might be doing everything really well, but it looks really ugly because
So you're on mute.
design. Any question? Okay, so that's the design award. The next award is the Motivate Award. The Motivate Award is all about spreading other people, and it's all about recruiting new teams into FTC, into FTC and into STEM. So that's what this award is about. So basically, you should be motivating other people to also do robotics. You should be motivating other people to take up STEM education, and you should be looking at forming new FTC teams. So there might be a team that might be interested in doing robotics, and as an FTC team, you can help them out in preparing for FTC and actually help them in building the robot if required, or giving them the information, training them, and so on. So this award is all about that. Again, this is also related to outreach. So there are these two outreach awards.
So, so your internet is really bad.
It's still bad, is it?
So Yes, bad. so Not
Well, I
work.
switched networks. Sorry. Can you repeat the question?
So does the motivate award apply for rookie teams also, as they also first time applying for FTC?
Yes, it does apply because you may want to bring in new people as coaches or as volunteers into FTC, or as you are preparing for FTC, you may be helping some other team also to prepare for FTC. So you could be doing that, and that makes you eligible for the. So just because the rookie team doesn't mean not do activities. So you should definitely target these activities. And like all the other awards, gracious professionalism is extremely important here. And the team must submit an engineering notebook, without which you will not be eligible for this award. The next award. So the control award is all about making your robot intelligent. And the way we make it intelligent is by using various sensors in your robot and by programming the robot in such a way that it exhibits behavior better than how a human player or human driver could control the robot. So this is mostly about the autonomous period performance. So how well does your robot perform during the autonomous period? Because in autonomous, the robot does everything on its own based on the software that you're programmed into it and based on the sensors and how they work on the bot. So that's what this award is all about. In order to be eligible for this award, there is a special form that you need.
So you're on mute.
Sir, we can't hear you.
No, we can't hear him.
Even his screen is frozen.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. See, your voice is breaking a lot.
Okay, I'm not sure what is happening because I switched in 3 networks and I'm having problems on all 3 of them. Let me try again.
His screen froze.
Is the audio better now? Am I audible now?
Hello, I just joined. First-
Am I audible now? Can you hear me? Can someone confirm if I'm audible?
Yes.
So we can hear you.
Okay. So this control award is all about how well your robot performs during the autonomous period. And like all the other awards, gracious professionalism is extremely important. And the team must submit an engineering notebook. Along with this, you will also need to submit a form in which you explain how you use sensors and how have you programmed your bot in order to be eligible for this award. So that's what the control award is all about. And the final award that is given out is the Inspire Award. This Inspire Award is given to the team that is a strong ambassador for FIRST and for FTC, and the team has to be a role model team. So typically, the team that gets nominated for multiple awards. For example, your team might get nominated for the Design Award, the Think Award, the Innovate Award, and so on. Then you become eligible for an Inspire Award. So for example, last year, the criteria that the judges used was the team has to be nominated for at least 3 awards before they're considered for the Inspire Award. So Inspire Award is the most prestigious award.
So,
And as always, the team must show respect and gracious professionalism to everyone. They must submit an engineering notebook. And this is basically the role model team for all other teams. So the Inspire Award is the most prestigious award that any team can get at FTC.
See your screen in case you're sharing.
frozen on the call, so we can't see.
Can you see my screen or you can't see my screen?
We can see your screen, but it's frozen on the call, so we can't see your presentation.
You can't see my presentation.
So you're sharing your team screen, not the presentation.
Okay, hold on. Let me share again. So now can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all about and finally there is something called a judges award, and the judges award is a special award that the judges come up with. They come up with their own criteria and they select a team that satisfies this criteria and gives it to them. So you those teams who are rookie teams and who have shown a lot of progress in the way they performed in FTC and how they did all their various activities. So there is this judges award as well. So like this, there are about 8 to 10 such awards that are given out besides the 2 awards that you get for winning the matches. So in all, there are about 10 to 12 awards that are given at FTC.
Sir,
Yes.
can a team like get 2 to 3 awards? Like I can get the winning award, I can get the motivate, inspire judges award. Like can it happen?
So the awards that you get by winning matches, the winning match awards, they are independent of the judging awards. So winning matches award anyone can get depending on their performance. But the judging awards, you get only 1 award. Each team can get only 1 award. So for instance, if you're eligible for say 3 and you're at the top for 3 awards, then you would not get those 3 awards. You might probably get the Inspire Award, which is the role model team award. And
Okay,
in case you already got an award, say you got a design award, but you're also eligible for it, then you won't get the Think Award. Then the Think Award would go to the team that is number 2 on the Think Award list. So each team usually gets only 1 award from the list of awards.
Okay.
Okay. So let's come to the engineering notebook. So you've seen that all the awards require you to submit an engineering notebook. So engineering notebook, it is like a project report in which you have to document various things. You have to document about your team. You need to write about your outreach activities. You need to write about your fundraising. You need to write about the planning that you have done in your team. You need to write about your robot design, how you came up with the design, how it works. And in addition to writing about it, you should also include lots of sketches, lots of pitch. You should also capture the discussions at team meetings that you do whenever your team meets. Capture those discussions and attach them to the notebook. And how has your design evolved from some wild ideas to your final design? The entire evolution of your design should be captured. And if you're following some specific processes, for example, you might have a process to choose what kind of a mechanism you would design for your robot. For instance, if you have say 2 or 3 different people who have 2 or 3 different ideas, then how do you choose between these 3 ideas and how do you choose one out of these 3? So you have to explain that as well. And then what all obstacles you faced during your entire FTC journey, capture that. And finally, you need to capture each team member's thoughts about your entire journey. So each team member should be contributing to this as well. So all this needs to go in the engineering notebook. And this engineering notebook can be in one volume or it can be in two volumes. There are two options. You can break it down into two parts as well. And there are some specific restrictions on the size of the engineering notebook. So it cannot be more than, I think, 1.5 inches or 2 inches in thickness, something like that. So those are some of the requirements of an engineering notebook. I'll show you some examples of people who have written good engineering notebooks. So you'll get an idea. But before that, there is a very specific set of guidelines that you need to follow when you write your engineering. This particular URL has this is one of the first things that you should do. You should be going over these guidelines, understand the guidelines, and then make sure that you follow them throughout. So this is an example of an engineering notebook. I have taken some screenshots. As you can see, this is a handwritten notebook. As long as your handwriting is, it's fine. The judges should be able to read it, that's all. So this is how you make it. And this is how you explain your game strategy. So this thing they've done is they put a diagram about the play field and then they've explained during teleop what is it that we will be doing. So the strategy has been explained here. So make sure you include lots of sketches and explain your. This is an example of a page from that same notebook where they've captured their meeting discussion. So for example, in this case, they were talking about and what is it that they concluded in the meeting, that they need to make holes that are bigger and so on. So notes like this. Then you need to include lots of sketches of how your design looks like, what has been used to make it. Hand-drawn sketches are perfectly fine. If you want to do CAD drawings, that's also perfectly fine. Both are okay. And also include lots of pictures of your team. And if you suppose have done some discussion where you use the whiteboard, then just take a picture of the whiteboard and attach that picture here in the notebook. You can, like I said, you can include your CAD drawings or 3D. You can include them here. And you need to also include information about your team. Each team member, you need to talk about them. This also goes in the engineering. And if you have done any outreach events, for instance, this team did this Blue Rock event where they went to some school and then they talked about FTC and they put pictures of it here. So you'll have to capture your outreach activities as well. Yes.
So how are you supposed to take pictures of like us doing whiteboard drawings or us doing outreach, because currently our COVID situation is going on and it will continue for another year or so?
Sorry, can you repeat your question? I didn't understand it.
How are you supposed to capture our pictures of us doing outreach or us doing whiteboard discussion and us doing discussions, because currently the COVID is going on and it will continue for a year or so?
Yes, so you have to be innovative in how you do your discussions. So you might be doing a discussion over Zoom meetings or Microsoft Teams. So take screenshots of that. If you're using some kind of a whiteboard in order to discuss a design with your teammates, take a screenshot of that. And so you'll have to be creative about it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. And these are some more pictures from the outreach that this particular team did. So this is all about the engineering notebook. Are there any questions at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our technical session series. If anyone has any questions for anything that we've discussed so far, or if you have any questions related to FTC or anything else, we can go ahead and discuss them. Or if you want to discuss any of your ideas or your mechanisms or your design, we can do that as well.
So we have come up with a new mechanism. So can we discuss it after the class and like recording stops and everything?
Sure, we can do that. Does anybody have any more questions? Anything else that anyone wants to ask?
So how long does it have to be about?
Sorry, could you repeat your question?
So how long does it have to be?
What has to be how long?
The engineering notebook.
So if you go through the guidelines document, no, the link that I shared with you, that has all the information on how it would be and things like that. So you have to print, even if you make a soft copy, then you need to print it out, and to your judges, you need to hand over a physical copy of the notebook. You can make you can make it make a PDF out of it, make a soft copy, but ultimately you'll have to print it out and give it to judges. And there are some guidelines that you can find over here at this location.
So can you just send this link to us on the meeting chat?
Yes, I'll be sharing all these presentations that I've done so far. I'll be sharing all of them with all of you.
So I just checked
All-
this link.
all
So
the-
it's for Skystone. I don't think it's for this year's. Like it's written 2019 to 2020. So is it like the same guide or does it change every year?
So the guidelines usually remain same. There might be some small changes that may happen this year, but it will be mostly the same.
Okay, so thank you.
Anyone else has any other question?
Yes, sir. Can the engineering notebook also be digital, or does it have to be like a printed copy?
It has to be a printed copy that you need to submit to the judges.
Then can we type it and print it? Or does
Yes,
it have...
you can. No, you can. You can.
Okay, thank you.
It doesn't have to be handwritten. It is just that this example that I showed you, that it can be digital or it can be handwritten, doesn't matter. But you have to submit a printed copy. That's the only thing. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this series. So Minal, are you still there? It looks like Minal ma'am is not here right now. Okay, I think we can conclude this meeting now. So except for the team that wanted to discuss some ideas, all of you can start signing off.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
so I'm a team member or something. Like I'm not. So I'm not a team member. So can you add me to the team?
I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't have the privileges to add you to a team because I don't manage the team. You'll have to speak to Minal ma'am for that.
Okay.
Sir, can you like, is it possible to stop the recording and like only our team members will be there, so that we can just discuss and then we can all leave?
So I don't have the control for recording.
So Shiv can stop the recording. Shiv, can you stop it?
Mahi, can you just leave the call for 1 second, like 1 minute, and then can you just join again?
Soham, can you also please leave the call? Soham Doshi.
I don't think they're on this call. That girl Ikshu, she's on hold. And I don't think.
Okay. So Shiv, can you stop the recording?
I cannot.
Soham, can you please leave?
Yeah, it's not recording.
It is recording.
No, it's stopped.
No, it is recording. See, there's a recording symbol on the top left corner.
Sir, it's fine, sir. I will just send you my idea, whatever idea I have. I'll just take a video of it and I'll just send you on personal chat. Is that fine?
Sure, that's okay.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Yes, we can discuss it. Nobody checks the recordings.
Like last class's recording is already given in the chat, and then over there, our one of our trial mechanisms is there.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's fine. I'll just send the sir the mechanism. Today we'll discuss in the call, and then I'll just send sir a rough copy of our mechanism. Bye, sir.
Bye.
But then this time